Hey ladies, it's Peta here. I'm dropping by today to talk about life is not normal and life happens. So over the course of the last week or so, I've had a couple of messages come through to me, and they were all messages around, life seems to be getting back to normal now, or I'm waiting for life to come back to normal, or what's happened is my life has been thrown into chaos, and once I get over this, then I'm going to be able to get back to my healthy routine. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is I get it. I totally get it that when things happen in our life, that it is really, really mega easy to go, okay, something has to give. What's going to give? This is what's going to give. It's going to be my exercise routine. It's going to be my preparation of my healthy food, or my quality of my sleep, or even though we're not intentionally doing it, we will be pushing our stress levels up as well too. So there's a lot of things, a lot of factors that happen in that, which will mean that ultimately we're affecting our well-being because of that decision that we make. And so I would ask you to think about this. Is there something else, some type of modification that you can make that will allow you to still stick with that pattern of healthy routine in some way, some type of modification to it? So I want to give you some insight into what's been going on in my life of recent. So I have two small children living with us right now because their mother is in hospital, and at this point we're unsure when she is going to be out of hospital and able to look after these children again. So our life was thrown into let's say it was chaos. It didn't really feel like chaos. It was just the natural thing to do because these kids had nowhere else to go. And so it's meant that the routine that we have of a morning has to be very, very different, and we've had to work very closely with one another. So we looked at what needed to be done as far as my health, as far as Paul's health is concerned. We've looked at what needed to be done from both works perspective, what had to be done from the farm's perspective as well too, and what areas we could let go by the wayside. But we made that decision that we still had to be able to eat as well as we could, and these kids just needed to be able to sort of like adjust with our way of eating. And kids are adaptive, let's face it, they are. And sometimes what will happen is we cater to all the little whims and needs and requirements that they specifically need. And after all, we are the adults. We know what is best for the kids based on the fact that we have a lot more experience than what they do. And so, and we know that they need to eat the veggies. And even though they might say, oh, I don't want to eat that, you can say to them, well, okay, well, that's okay, you don't need to eat it, but at least we can try it and let's see what we think of it. And here's a method that used to work for me when I was a child. So I liked my sweet potato mash, and so, but I didn't necessarily like cauliflower or peas back in those days. I liked them fresh out of the garden. I would just chomp on them, but I didn't really like them cooked. And so I would mash them up into little pieces, and I'd put the sweet potato mash over the top of it, and then I would eat it. And it was like, oh yeah, that's okay, that will work. And so what the kids have done is, over this period of time, they have learnt that, you know, they don't get juice and they don't get cordial, and, you know, I'm just so full of joy, the fact that they're drinking a lot more water, which is fantastic, you know, and they've got this wonderful routine where, you know, we read a story, we go to bed, and all those types of things. But my life was put into, you know, overwhelm and overdrive and chaos right at that point. And as I said, and we don't know at what point, you know, we are going to have these kids up to either. So we had to be very, very open and honest in what we needed from one another, and we're in touch with what's going on as well too. So, you know, if I will just say, okay, I need a break. I just need a break. It's time out for me. And, you know, Paul will step in, or if he goes, you know, I need to sleep, then it's like, well, I will step in and do something with them. Now, one of the other things that's really interesting is that they've got so much stuff. You know, there's just toys everywhere in the house. And it was like, okay, just pick something that you want, you know, one thing for daytime and one thing for nighttime. And that's all they've got. And the rest of the time they've learnt that, you know, we play chasey, and we play, you know, we're learning how to climb trees, and we go walking, and there's a lot of different things that we're doing that they wouldn't normally do, you know, which is absolutely fantastic that they've been able to adapt so well to this. But life is not normal. Life is never normal. We just develop these routines or these patterns that we get used to, and what we want to do is we want to keep those patterns, but they're never going to stay, because life is ever changing and it is going to continue to happen. But what we need to do is be able to rely on ourselves and what's important to us, and make sure that we take care of ourselves first and foremost. And it is possible to do, particularly if you've got someone else to lean on as well too in your house. But if you don't, then, you know, you may very well have people outside who will go, okay, look, let me know if I can do something. You take advantage of those people as well when you need that help. It's super, super critical that you take care of yourself first and foremost, because if you don't take care of yourself and you give to everybody else more than yourself, then you're devaluing who you are as a person and how important your health and your well-being is. And I know that you know it is important, and I know that you also understand that sometimes it gets a little crazy, and, you know, sometimes those routines slip. But when it gets a little crazy, I want you to just take that deep breath and think about, okay, what are the non-negotiables here? What are the things that I'm not going to give up? You know, so your exercise routine, you know, might be a fit flex session. So maybe what you're going to do is you're just going to do the fit part of it because that's all you can fit in. Or maybe you'll do some work and then you'll come in and do the flex part of it one day, and then you'll do the fit part the next day. Or maybe what you'll do is on the weekend you'll say to the family, okay, come and help me. Let's get in this kitchen, let's do a cook up, and let's get a few things organized for the up and coming week. So just remember that you are important, and life happens, and it is always a choice about how you react to your life. And, you know, over the last week or so, what's been happening is I've had a day where I just wanted to stare at the wall. And that's pretty much what I did. I didn't really stare at the wall, but I just sat because I just needed to sit, because I was feeling overwhelmed. But as part of that process, you know, I didn't give up my walking because it is such a good thing for my mental health, my well-being, to be out in nature. And you know, I didn't give up my exercise routine as well too. You know, I just adapted it around it. And the kids came and they worked out with me. So you know, and that's okay, because they're getting exposure to that it's all right to put yourself first. They're also getting exposure to what it's like to be acting in a healthy manner, to look at what exercise is all about and be exposed to that as well too. So I want you to really think about the choice that you make. When your life becomes a little crazy, and we all have those moments where it does become crazy, and I'm in it. I'm like well and truly in it right now. And as I said, I've had a day where I wanted to just sit at the wall, and I've had, you know, moments where I wanted to tear my hair out. But I've gone, okay, it's meditation time. And so that's because that's what I needed. So they came and they said, do we sit like this? Yeah, if you want to sit like that, you can sit like that. And so I think first and foremost, just remember that it's okay to put yourself first. It's really important that you communicate what you want with the other people around you, even if they are kids. Don't treat them like adults. They're not adults, they're children, and you get to make the decisions. And you get to decide what time you get to include for yourself. Okay, so that's it for me. Take care, everybody. Have a super awesome day. See you all soon.